This morning I'm walking through the historic cemetery in Jacksonville, Oregon. It's an old pioneer cemetery. Some of the deaths date back into the mid-1850s. And one of my, I guess the word favorite or most unusual gravestones is this one here. I'll see if I can pan down and let you see it. A guy last name of Angel, first name of Martin. It says at the bottom there, killed by Indians in 1856. And I've been by this a number of times, and it's always garnered my attention. And I got to thinking, we're all going to have an epitaph on our life, some kind of a stone or a remembrance of how we lived. And unfortunately, Martin met it by the arrow of an Indian or a gunshot. I'm not sure which one. I've noticed there's a lot of nervous people in the church today. Nervous that things are going to happen, and most of them never pan out. Remember Y2K? Gosh. When Jan and I came here to Southern Oregon in 1999, that was coming up, and boy, the church, in some cases, in some parts of the church, looked like an encampment, a survivalist encampment. And a minute after midnight, when the year 2000 came, nothing happened, and we went on and buried our fears and nervousness. And then a few years later, the book, The Da Vinci Code, came out with a movie, and I remember being at Barnes & Noble and in the book section, actually trying to hide from people, just want to be alone for a minute. But this lady came up to me who I had known and from church stuff. And she says, "Pastor, I'm really concerned." I said, "What are you concerned about?" She says, "The Da Vinci Code. I think I've got a lot of friends that have told me their faith is being challenged by that movie. In other words, they feel like they could lose their faith because of what the movie said." And I looked at her with an incredulous look on my face. I said, "If their faith is that fear-based and nervous, I really question whether they have a faith or not." At a recent date, The Shack's come out. Jan and I really enjoyed the book, just saw the movie, great movie, go see it. The accusations about it are pretty much intellectual and theological hogwash. Just a wonderful movie about the heart of God, and you come away feeling blessed. The church is really a nervous group of people sometimes. And I've realized that a nervous church or a nervous individual is powerless. There's no power because the nervousness and the fear takes them over. And if there's anything you really should be nervous about in a positive way is whether or not you're loving. What's the epitaph of your life going to be? Is it going to be this person lived in fear and nervous about everything that was coming down? Or did they live in love? And I think on the headstone of your life, maybe it would be better to consider, how can I have an epitaph left that says they lived in love without fear and nervousness? I mean, look around this forest here I'm walking through. A lot of oak trees, a lot of storms this winter. I could walk through here afraid that these limbs are going to fall on my head and never take a walk here. And that's the problem with being nervous all the time and having a theology or a concept of theology that is always something you have to protect. Let me tell you something about truth. Truth does a really good job about protecting itself. You just speak the truth in love. And that's, by the way, what Paul said as a result of the 5 equipping gifts. Their ministry is to create a church. Go read it in Ephesians 4. To create a church that can speak the truth in love. And so, don't be nervous. Jesus is on the throne. You're sitting with him on the throne right now, by the way. And that should be something that produces not a nervousness, but a confidence that all things will work together for good for those that love God and are called according to his purpose. It's not going to work good for you if you're not under those definitions, but if you are, nothing to be nervous about. Chill out. Life's good. Take care.